Okay, at 6 o'clock, I'm gonna call the meeting to order. Thank you. Thanks for the change of scenery.
I think it's mine.
Agenda, review, and disposition.
So under discussion items, I have lunch debt to add to other business. And negotiations to non-public session.
Who's taking minutes without Jenny here? She's gonna use that.
Okay, great, thank you.
Thank you. All right, minutes of September 8th. Did everyone get a chance to read the minutes? Did anyone have any questions or changes that needed to be made? Would someone like to make a motion to approve the minutes as written?
I move that.
A second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Principal's report.
Okay, we currently have 394 students enrolled, 48 kindergartners, 16, 14, and 16. They're pretty well balanced in the 3 kindergarten classes. First grade, we have 28, 14 in each class. Second grade, we have 40, 14, 13, and 13 in each class. Third grade, 49, 16, 17, and 16. Fourth grade, 36, 18 in each class. Fifth grade has 39, 19, and 20, respectively, 2 grades. Sixth grade has 49, 17, 17, and 15. Seventh grade has 50, 18, 15, and 17. And eighth grade has 40, 19, and 21. Oh, I left out preschool. We have 17 in preschool. Our recent school events, we've got our literacy team for SAU 48 has a series of events planned with Dr. Carol Tolman. PES is in a cohort with Wentworth and Russell Elementaries. Last week, Dr. Tolman was here with the other 3 school members. Some of their representatives were here as well. Dr. Tolman is an internationally known author of the Letters Literacy Program. She's an expert in the science of reading and has dedicated her career to advancing literacy education. She's been years in the classroom as well as a consultant. The teachers thoroughly enjoyed her being here. They had questions. She was very patient. She enjoyed answering the questions. So at one point I had to cut them off and say, okay, she's got to have her lunch, so she needs to leave. But at the end of the day too, but she was very accommodating for all the teachers, and we're going to have 2 more events here at PES and then 1 at Wentworth and 1 at Russell Elementary, including kindergarten through 3rd grade several times. Last week, the PES staff celebrated Sarah Sanborn by wearing our Sanborn Strong t-shirts. We took a picture together and sent it to her. We filled up the gym, one side of the gym. It was pretty nice doing it. T-shirts look good too. Tomorrow we have parent-teacher conferences. If parents have not already signed up, they need to make an appointment as quickly as possible. Our book fair started today, and the little kids were going in today making their wish list. They all had these little clipboards, and so when parents come in tomorrow, they're going to have a list of things to buy. We will close out the book fair on Wednesday. We also are. It's been requested that I have a Meet the Principal Zoom meeting October 27th at 6 p.m. If anyone has any questions they would like for me to address, they should contact Carolyn Soucy at cesoucy@gmail.com. She will forward the questions to me prior to the meeting. On October 31st, we will have our kindergarten or K through 5 parade for Halloween. No costumes will be worn during the day. Of course, no weapons, no violent, gory costumes. SAU, the high school, the rec department, PTA, police, and fire departments will hand out candy. It'll be quite the event. I'm looking forward to it. It's new for me here, so that'll be good.
It's fun.
Yeah.
What time is it?
It starts at 1:30.
Okay.
And what day is that? I'm sorry.
October 31st. That's
Okay,
a
on
Friday.
Halloween.
I'm gonna be
Yeah.
ready for that.
Yeah. Yeah. Lots of candy.
Yeah.
Our formal teacher observations will begin this month, and
we're looking into, I'm organizing, trying to look into streamlining some of our meetings into, under the MTSS umbrella, multi-tiered system of support for our students. More about that coming later. 8th graders, shout out to some of the 8th graders, Wesley Ball and Riley Mask, who have been doing a great job leading the pledge for the whole school over the loudspeaker every morning. They're very efficient with this. Our intermediate wing care awards recipients for September were 3rd grade Kinsley Wicker, 4th grade Kelty, I don't know how to pronounce the last name, Guinan? Guinan, okay. 5th grade Maeve Kearney, and this is from our care awards. A shout out also to our 1st grade teachers, Jacqueline Reed and Rob Cushing. Our 1st grade teachers, Mrs. Reed and Mr. Cushing, bring such joy and positivity to our school each day. Their warm smiles and upbeat attitudes create a welcoming start for every student. In their classrooms, learning comes alive. Students are engaged, happy, eager to explore. Their dedication and energy make a lasting difference in the lives of our youngest learners. I love going in there. The kids are always smiling, always happy. They seem like they are just some of the most eager learners I've seen. Our PTA is taking care of families in a real and authentic way. There are several families associated with the school that have experienced crises, and the PTA has organized fundraisers for the families and continues to provide support for those in need. A thank you to Laura Murphy for organizing and collecting donations for snacks for our students. Currently, she's counted them, 1,608 snacks stocked.
Wow.
Right now. She has also collected an additional $330 in cash donations to support us this year, and just received confirmation from Walmart over the weekend, I believe, that they will donate to our students as well. So I didn't have the amount for that, but I'm excited that we've got that. Our kids get hungry, or probably hungrier than they think they're hungrier than they are, but she provides snacks for them, so that's great. Our facilities updates. We have a quote for parts to replace what was found deficient on the playground, and that's moving forward. It's only for the parts, and assumes that John and the Parks Department will install things that were deficient on the playground from our inspection. We also have a quote to repair some of the gym things that are found needing in there. The quote already reflects an adjustment. It reflects an adjustment for for providing the lift. We're going to get the mechanism for, it's called the space station, I think. I called it sky station. They corrected me. That little box at the top in the gym, it gets in the way of things. So basketball, I learned that there was at least, I think they said 3 goals in basketball, or maybe no, volleyball, that were lost due to that. So we're going to have it lowered and raised and as needed, rather than just leaving it up there.
Nice.
Yeah. And I think that is everything that I had, and Mr. Simula has some things.
All right. So I'm going to present Mr. Dutail's athletic update. So last time we met, there were a lot of questions about numbers of kids participating. So he came up with some statistics for us about the number of students. So there are 183 students in grade 5 through 8. Of that, 110 of those students have been involved in athletics this fall. Volleyball, cross country, flag football, field hockey, and then 5-6 co-ed soccer and 7-8 girls and boys soccer. That's about 60% of the 5th through 8th graders at PES involved in athletics. We had 23 students from across SAU 48 and Ashland paid to play this fall, mostly for field hockey and 7-8 girls soccer. Last Thursday, on the 2nd, was Plymouth's annual home cross country meet. Once again, we got great feedback from the other 12 schools that attended. And as a side note, I believe our girls came in first, and I believe it's their 4th in a row cross country meet that they've taken first in. Mr. Dutail is still trying to confirm Nordic skiing coaches and a 5-6 boys basketball coach for this winter. Winter sports signups are tentative for 10/27 or 10/28, with the first practices starting roughly 2 weeks later. So if anyone knows a Nordic skiing coach or a 5'6" boys basketball coach, we are in need. All right, safety and some discipline. So last time we met, I think we were piloting, sorry, this is my part, sorry. Cruising right through. So I think last time we met, I had talked about Swiss, which is like our behavior tracking system. We were trying to do a dry run. We are up and running 100% with all students and all staff inputted into the system. Starting with safety, our 50-inch TV monitor for the front office is in and is scheduled to be installed. I'm not exactly sure when, but I know it is in the process of being installed, and we have the TV, which is great. We have our CPI training tomorrow with John Brule. We have 7 staff members attending as we build our crisis response team. If you didn't hear, we did have a accidental alarm activation at Plymouth Elementary School 2 weeks ago. Since that time, we've met with the high school staff, we've met with the police department, we've met with our safety committee to discuss things that we needed to change, things that ran efficiently, and just things that needed to be discussed. After those meetings, we then had a large staff meeting to field questions and talk about everything good that did come out of the accidental activation. So we tried to turn it into a positive and just focus on what everyone did right, and then fixing some things that we thought could maybe be changed a little bit. So I think we were able to turn that into a positive, and we learned a lot about the whole system for PES and kind of refined it a little bit and just made it more efficient. We are in the process of setting up on top of that, so we're in the process of setting up with FEMA, the incident command training for paraprofessionals. We were trying to get them to do it tomorrow, but as we found out today, I believe due to, or partly due to the government shutdown, the website it just keeps circling and circling. So that is to be continued, and a lot of the paras have been asking about that.
What would that do, Rick? Sorry.
What's that?
What's the FEMA training do?
So it basically just goes over like what individual people need to do as part of the incident command.
Okay.
So it would just talk about roles, like things that you should do, probably things that you shouldn't do, and it just gives you a basic knowledge of what you would do in a crisis situation to help out, be efficient, and all of that, like what you might do in the event of a crisis.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
Yep. And I can print out the actual course outline if you want to see it further.
No, that's fine, I just wanted to see what they would be training.
Okay.
That's
Yep.
great, thank you.
Sure. Our next safety committee meeting is Wednesday, October 8th. And then since our last meeting, the 3 field trips that we had, Geneva Point, Franconia Notch, and then I believe Nature's Playground in Maine, were all awesome. All the kids loved it, all the staff loved it. Everyone did a great job. Everyone was well behaved. Everyone came back tired. They learned stuff. They pushed themselves, and it was awesome. Personally, I had a great time as well.
And you were also
if you
tired?
couldn't tell. Oh, I was the most tired, and I think I learned the most. Yeah. So, but
They're
personally,
exhausting.
for me, I
They're
would do it
exhausting.
again. It was great.
And
So,
everybody came back. That was the part
Yes,
that I
yep.
liked. Everybody came back.
And that's all I have.
That's
Thank
great.
you.
Thank you very much. Does anybody have any questions for Rick or Dr. Green?
Rick, do you have the number of kids playing flag football?
I don't have it here, but I believe, I want to say it's 4 to 6.
Pretty low.
It is pretty low. And admittedly, with that 4 to 6, with grades and then some kids not being able to attend every day, I don't believe that the attendance has been great for those days, which is unfortunate, yeah.
Okay.
It's definitely something we'll have to reevaluate as we move forward.
Yep, okay.
And then I will say, sorry, in flag football's defense, we had a short time to plan and put it out there to kids, so I think some of them had already joined other things in place of what might have been flag football.
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay, great.
Yep.
And then for Dr. Green, you had mentioned the quote for the facilities, the playground parts and the repair of the space station. Do you have numbers for that?
I
Or is
do.
it premature? Or?
I do, let's see, where is it? Facilities. The deficiencies on the playground, the quote was for $4,596.
What are the deficiencies on the playground?
There were some repairs that had to be done.
Okay.
And I believe some of the ground cover had to be replaced, some of
The
that.
wood chips.
Yeah, it's
So
not just.
our inspector retired last year,
Yeah.
and we've been fine, and we have
Yeah.
a new inspector that,
Do you want?
so
Okay.
all the
Because
playgrounds.
we did,
Yeah.
because we did a bunch of drainage work
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
playground this summer.
It's just
actually
very
remember-
specific.
Yeah.
I read the email, just so I do know. So some of the things that they talked about was a couple of nuts and bolts and some of the springy
Right.
implements, and then some of the safety rubber paint was coming off on the railings and on the deck, showing some of the metal. That was
Okay.
the main part of it, so that if you fell down, you could hit the metal underneath rather than the rubber. Yeah, but it was very minimal.
Okay.
But they suggested it was repaired.
Okay.
And then for the gymnasium, for the Space Station, it's $2,850. And that's it's just the deficiencies in the gym as well as moving that space station out of the way.
That's all under repairs and maintenance.
Yeah,
Okay.
Your budget.
So it's built in.
yeah, it's
Okay.
right.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. All right, privilege of the floor, number 1. All right. Discussion items.
I'll take the person.
Supervision of students policy, the first reading.
So I'm trying to get you caught up on all the required policies. These are very minor, and I think if you'll see the first reading, you don't have to vote on them tonight, we can bring them to the second meeting, but just take a look. It's just basically a general policy that we are to supervise students, which we do, but we need to have a policy that matches it.
Wow.
Same with physical and emotional well-being of students.
Okay.
Very basic, not a lot of meat to either one of these, but you don't have them in place, so I just would like to get you caught up.
So these are both brand new, it's not a revision of a.
Correct, and they would
Okay.
be, we're trying to get you all the required ones done without just a few a month or something like that, or a couple.
Did someone here write this, or is this?
This is by New Hampshire School Board
Okay, thank
Association,
you.
so we use all of their templates.
Right.
Yep. So if you take the first read, and then we can come back to it on both those policies for next month.
Okay. Super, thank you.
Yeah.
And then the lunch debt.
So Dan, I put a memo in front of you that Dan wrote the other day. We're seeing more and more of an issue, and it really has come from COVID, really, when there was free lunch for, and we've talked about this before as a board, where there was free lunch for everyone, and there was no requirement to fill out the free and reduced paperwork. Now, your free and reduced lunch paperwork ties directly to your allocations for federal grants as well.
Okay.
So nationwide, statewide, and locally, all those numbers have gone down. So it doesn't actually match your poverty rate is what we're finding, which skews the allocations because it looks less than it is. But with that, even folks that are able to pay, so you'll see after the second paragraph, in 24-25, there was $12,000, a little over $12,000 that wasn't paid in lunch. And those are for folks that can pay. So we encourage people to fill out the paperwork if they need help. And so Dan wanted you to just review some options. You don't need to make a decision tonight, but you'll see his 3 options on the bottom. And some of the districts that have had some issues with some larger debt have sent collection agencies if they meet a certain threshold. So I'm talking a threshold of like, if your bill gets to over $500, you know, it's not like $2 and, you know, but there's some bills out there that it's over 500.
Yeah, so what number of students, you know, and the average balance of max and minimum, like, how many?
Yeah, so
students
you have most that are a non-issue, which we've always absorbed,
Okay.
right? So $5, $6, 27 cents. You know, somebody's getting an extra breakfast in the morning and they don't realize. The system automatically tells the parents when they're low, or when they need to refresh the money in the account. Those of you that have kids in this building know that piece. But we can't refuse students lunch. So it doesn't mean they get the a la carte. It's not like if they want a sticky bun or whatever, like they're not being given that, but any student is allowed a breakfast or lunch if they want one, and they get the standard breakfast or lunch. Obviously, we can't refuse that. That law was put in a little while ago. So with the lack of folks filling out the free and reduced lunch forms and balanced with, you know, people not paying, that's why the debt is that much higher. So at some point, I want Plymouth to think about it. Just yours is a little bit more inflated than some of the other districts. So I just think, you know, we can continue what we're doing now, and then you can fund it in the budget, which is tough to justify. We can, you know, use stronger collection methods around the forms and possibly small claims court if the bill is like that much higher. And then, you know, the other third piece, which I'm not a fan of, is eliminate the availability of breakfast for those without available funds on their account or cash in hand. So it's not required that you serve breakfast, but it's just one of those philosophical pieces that, you know, you have to decide what you want to do.
A student who gets free and reduced lunch, how is that, do they use like cards or something?
So they all have ID numbers, so they're just matched with ID numbers.
So people around them don't necessarily know?
No, because none of them are paying with cash anyways, they just have accounts, yeah. So
Okay.
it's all done through their system on the computer.
So what do we attribute the fact that people don't fill out the paperwork to? Just, they don't want it? Pride?
It could be, pride is one, and
It's always
the
been an
necessity. It's always been an issue. It was better before COVID. Once they got rid of the requirement to do so and everybody got the free lunch, we've just had a harder time bringing back people to fill that form out if they need assistance.
Sure, it's sense of entitlement.
Right.
It's,
So,
that's interesting.
And if folks filled out that form, would that open additional grants for us?
well, yes, the higher those numbers are, the more money you get. So you became a school-wide school for Title I. So there's two tiers of Title I. There's what's called targeted tier, and then school-wide school. If you have over 40% poverty, which at one point years ago Plymouth did hit, you become a school-wide school, which actually opens up a lot more resources and allocations to your school. Once you hit that, just even if it's 1 year, you're always a school-wide school. But right now, your numbers are less than that. And I don't have usually mid-October, I get the more accurate numbers on your poverty level, but my guess is it's gonna be maybe in the 20s, which is probably not reflective of your population.
Do you think it would be helpful, because I know we send it out at the beginning of the school year with all the other paperwork that has to get filled out, would it make sense to then send it out again? Like, you know, a month in or 2
Yeah,
months
so
in?
we do speak
Do other
with the
schools
families
do that?
that are not paying, saying, you know, can you come in, can you know, do that piece. Other schools don't send it out twice, but they just make it available. The principals do reach out to families to say, you know, you have a debt, or Dan does as well. He reaches out to families as well.
No.
Yeah.
So there's really two issues. One is if more people filled out the paperwork, we'd have more grants.
Correct.
And then the second issue is the fact that there is this debt that we need to somehow either fund or address
Right.
however we decide to
Right.
address.
Right. So like I said, no decision needs to be made tonight, but it's just something that I thought you should be aware of. It was elevated last year, and I do think if we can tighten it up a little bit, Dan gave some options to reduce that debt as well.
In other schools, you said that we have an elevated amount versus other schools. How are other schools handling this, or is it just not an issue and so they don't have to?
It's not as much, they can absorb it a little bit easier. Once it goes over 10,000, you know, that's an unbudgeted item. So that's just an extra 12,000 that you have to come up with.
Got it.
kind of unnecessarily, but,
All right.
so.
So if it's under 10,000, it is otherwise,
Most
more
for
easily
under
absorbed?
5, yeah.
And that's
Most are under
easily
5.
absorbed into
Yeah.
an existing
Yeah, it's
budget.
easier to cover, so once it gets a little higher,
Okay,
we'd
got it.
like to
Yeah.
Thank you.
Is
just make you aware of it.
Is part of it an idea that students are maybe purchasing things that they just want as opposed, like an ice cream or something?
So it's
Is that part of
usually,
it?
so they're not allowed to get the à la carte items, which is
Okay.
what those are. Once they hit that 0, once they have no money in their account, they can get the standard
Oh,
lunch.
yeah.
So they'll get the milk,
Okay.
the main meal, and whatever they get.
Right, and that's every student.
And that gets charged still every, to their account, and that's when it goes into deficit.
Okay.
Kind of complicated, but
Yeah.
it's something to think about. I just wanted it to put it on your radar so we can address it somehow.
Right. That makes sense. Okay. You guys have any further questions about that?
I'm all set, thanks.
Okay. All right, privilege of the floor
That's
number 2.
interesting.
Well, all right. All right, did everybody sign off on the manifest? Perfect. So do we have any correspondence?
No.
Okay. And we need a motion to go into non-public.
I move that we go into non-public.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks. Thank you for coming to the meeting.
Thanks, everyone.